Welcome to this look at a new map to Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. This is Event Map by Razak. This is new to Farming Simulator 22. It's had some upgrades since the previous version of this, if I'm looking correctly. It's 120.96 megabytes to download. It does say the map is pure fun, not intended to harvest normally, etc. But you can, if you want to, you can set the map up and run it as a normal farm. There are sell points, there's a sawmill, there's a livestock market. I'll show you all that as we go around. The map looks like this. Now, I'm on here on multiplayer at the moment because it's designed to be played on multiplayer. 4 teams of 3 players each, which is absolutely brilliant. You can, of course, come on here on solo, single player, and practice everything, but you will only have access to one set of equipment. So if you come onto it on multiplayer, what you will have to do to start off with, it's already set up teams. You don't have to do that, it's done for you. You just have to join whichever team you're going to be on, and then when you come back out, you'll see that they're all color coordinated. So I'm on the blue team at the moment. So anything that's blue I can access, the other stuff I can't. So you can't jump in other teams' vehicles and mess things up and that kind of thing, which is very nice. We've got 6 disciplines, plus we've got horse racing and football pitches, which we're going to go and have a look at as well. There is one contract, Field 1. You can do contracting if you want to. As it says, you can purchase now. The other thing you are going to need to be aware of when we get to this section here, each team will need to purchase their plot, which gives them the plot for the mowing challenge and a plot for the ploughing challenge. You'll need to buy those because otherwise if you try and start, you won't have access to the field and it won't let you. But there are plots around, grass fields, forested areas. So if you want to run it as a regular farm, you absolutely can. There's no sleep trigger because obviously as it stands, it's not necessarily designed to be, but you do have the ability to play it as a regular map if you want. So what we're going to do is, well, we're going to whiz around. Oh, as far as mods go, there is one mod added into here. If we go down to here, event map, we've got pickup 2017. That goes up to 500 horsepower. I think the standard in-game one's 300, is it? I'm sure it's 300. This is a 500 horsepower. It's a bit sluggish off the line, but it does get there. So let's get cracking. We're going to start with event 1. Now I'm going to go through the events in order and then take in the various different things that are around the map as we go. Event 1 is the sprint race. Now, with this, there are instructions, there are rules laid down. However, if you're coming onto here with your friends and you want to change the rules, you might find you do a certain challenge and you've all found it too easy or harder, or you might want to extend the time limits, reduce the time limits, you might just want to play around with what you need to do. This one does say you have to complete a total of 6 laps with your team. A change of driver and refueling are mandatory every 2 laps. So you go around twice, you come into the pits, you refuel, next person goes, and you have to. Now it doesn't say you have to refuel up to full, just enough that you can get round. I mean, again, that's a rule that maybe you could decide on. So I'm on the blue team, I've got access to the blue car, and as you can see, they're all number plated with the correct teams, so you shouldn't be able to make a mistake. And also, it would mean I can't get into the yellow team's one, or the red teams, because I don't have access. So jump in. Right, so automatic engine start on or off. Again, you can decide as a group how you'd rather have it. Depends how the majority of people prefer. And then, obviously, if you're all on voice chat, you can do countdown, and off you go. This is a bit of a slow start. I'm only going to do 1 lap. I'll do 1 lap, then I'll come into the pits. I'll show you where you refuel. Again, with the refueling, when you come into the pit lane, you can choose which your pit is going to be. You'll have to decide before the race, and I imagine obviously if you're playing multiplayer, all the people that are waiting to then get into the car are going to be waiting at your pit lane. So now you can't get around this course pushing full tilt the whole time, so you cannot be accelerating. There are some corners, bends on this track that you just cannot take at full speed. Now I'm sure it was FS19 that we had this, wasn't it? And it's again, like most maps we're getting, it feels and seems crisper, cleaner, tidier. There's a lot more detail with the hoardings, and there's, like I say, a load of stuff added with the football. I don't remember there being football pitches in the previous version, and the horse racing as well, which is really cool. There are some really nice touches. Off to our left, we've got the horse racing track, which we'll get to later on. I'm not going to show you all of every discipline, but you'll kind of get the gist when we get to have a look at it. So this obviously doesn't have a time limit, it's just 6 laps, complete as quickly as possible with your pit stop and fuel every 2 laps. It's a fairly long circuit. The thing is always difficult when it's just you on your own and you kind of go around. I know when I've raced on multiple racing games with Sealyp and my brother, I mean we grew up with the first Gran Turismo and Toka touring cars, and you know, kind of going through the, I think Formula One. What was it, one of my favourites, 2007 or 2009 for me was one of the best ones I played, up until the recent ones obviously. And it's just so much fun when there's multiple people racing on the same circuit and you're all friends, you're all having a laugh. It's just awesome. So as we come round this final section, we have the pit entrance coming up just here. When you come into the pits, you can then pick which pit you're going to be, all your team are going to be waiting at. It's entirely up to you. And then when you pull into it, you should L3, as you can see right inside, we're topping up. So it might be in the first refill you decide you're going to top up completely, then every 2 laps whatever you've used you come in and you just have to do a refill. It's up to you guys to decide how you want to go about it. So that's the first one, that's sprint race. What we're going to do on the way out of here, I'm going to use the pickup to get around the map. Let's open that up and that up. I want, which turning is it? I think it's the next one. We've got the animal dealer, livestock market, so if you are going to run this as a regular farm, we do have a livestock market just here. From here, we can exit the track, we drive across here, and out. So, next discipline, let's head over. We've got number 2. This is the sprint lawn mowing. Now, as you can see, we've got 3 vehicles. The other teams are all up there, the various different colours. We'll go to the map. So as you can see, like I said, these ones you need to buy the plots, don't forget to do that. So 3 of you, you've got 1 person mowing, 1 person windrowing, and 1 person baling and wrapping. So your challenge, it says, you have to produce silage bales with your team, mowing, swathing and pressing. You have a time limit of 5 minutes. The winner is the team with the most pressed silage bales. If there's a tie, it's the remaining litres inside the baler that count. Now, again, how you go about this is entirely up to you. I mean, you can start, I mean, if it was me, I would say I would start as it is here. You might want to be all in your vehicles, ready to go, and then someone counts down. On the go, you start your engines. Or you can have your engines started already, or what you can do is maybe have the person mowing lined up, ready to go. Again, you can mix and match or change the rules, however you want to do it, to set it up for you, how you'd rather go about it. And if you find you in 5 minutes you're getting it all done, again, like I say, too easily, or you find it too difficult, just change the time limits. You know, at the end of the day, you're playing with your friends, you can set it really however you want. And while I'm talking about that, what you can also do, if you're running a multiplayer server, or you've got a multiplayer server, for example, Gportal, which my Discord server runs, we have 3 maps, I think 3 maps running at the moment on Gportal. If you want to get a multiplayer server that's run off-site, and you can set it monthly depending on how many players you want to have in there, you could potentially have the amount of players in there set higher than 12, so you could have spectators as well. If you're looking to get a multiplayer server, I do have a ref link in the description. You get a discount if you go over there to Gportal and have a look. For running something like this, it would be absolutely perfect. Yeah, because then you haven't got to run it on your console, your PC. It's running on off-site server, so it works a little bit better. And cross-play as well. You think about playing cross-play on something like this, because there's no mods that you have to have included. Everyone can join in, and everyone should be able to play just as well as each other, I guess. So let's turn it on, drop it down. So on the go. Did I not buy it? I thought I'd already bought it. And there's me saying, don't forget to buy it. You see what I mean? You imagine, everyone says go, someone starts mowing, and then you realise one of the teams hasn't bought their plot. It's a good bit of advice, just remember that. Now obviously this will come down to as well how accurate you are. Do you want to be accurate? Do you just want to cut corners? Do you want to just get around as quickly as possible? And obviously what you're hoping is, as you're heading off, your teammates behind you are going to be already whizzing along behind you, windrowing, and then bailing behind it. Now I'm not necessarily sure I need to show you windrowing and bailing. I think you probably will kind of get how that works, but you get the idea. As many bales as you can in 5 minutes, with the possibility to adjust it if you need to. I think that's a nice thing about it. If it had been set that you had like timers already in place, like on the map, so that when you all start the timer's already running and you can't adjust that, it makes it a little bit more restrictive. Having it more open like this, I think does give you more leeway to adjust things and your kind of playability yourselves. But as you can see, that's what you'll be doing. All three of you hammering around trying to get as many bales. Now what it might not be a bad idea doing as well, if you are going to run a multiplayer server, or because I'm pretty sure on console you're limited, aren't you? Is it still 6 players? What's the maximum you can have? I think it's 6 players on console still, so you'd have to be running a multiplayer or joining somebody else with one to be able to access it if you were running it yourself, because obviously you wouldn't be able to have 12 players. But it might not be a bad idea to have a ref, an umpire, or one of the 12 that's responsible and can be trusted to play fairly. So anyway, that's sprint lawn mowing. Next we've got the obstacle course. So this one here, it says you should get as many bales as possible through the course to the finish. Again, they're all lined up. I think blue's this end. If we hop in the map again, we're now here. So you've got your vehicles and we've got the courses. So you run around the course. Now again with this, it's up to you when you get to the finish. Do you just pick your best driver? Do you just say, right, each person goes through the labyrinth or the obstacle course once? I have, from just doing a bit of testing, found 2 bales at a time is probably the best you're going to get. With this small Manitou, trying to do it more, 4 you can get away with, but I found after the first 3 obstacles I've lost the top 2 bales already. And it may not seem like it. Now again, you can start from the outside, get in your vehicles, no engines on, and then on the go you start your engines and off you go. Or you can get your first bales loaded and then go. It's up to you to all decide how you want to go about it. So I've already got 1 bale that's nearly fallen off. This first stretch is fine. You think, oh, this is all all very dandy. You turn the corner, there's some planks and stuff. There you go, there's 1 bale gone already. Now obviously I'm not doing this to be as precise as possible, just to show you. But after this, the ground, let's just say it's slightly uneven. So when you have got bales on the top, you're likely to lose them. You might not. You might do absolutely fine. Again, this is kind of, do you just hoon round as fast as you can and hope for the best? So then once you've done, like say, as I'm doing now, once you've done 1 lap to the end and you come back, you can decide whether you want to swap drivers. If you've got a time limit of 5 minutes, you can just keep swapping drivers after each run, or just stick with your best driver. However you will decide you want to go about it. So we go around the slalom. We've got a few more here. You can pick which side of this you go. So as I've found, like I say, with 2 on here, you can pretty much get over the obstacles and they'll stay on. If you want to try and go for more, you can't go as fast, but you're going to get more bales taken in the time frame. God blimey, this is bumpy. Again, where you put your bales is up to you. You can put them in front of these boards, or I would say if you're going to do them, they've got to be within these boards. Drop them down. Now, you can also decide at this point, do we as a group decide we're going to go back through the course to the start and then swap drivers, or do you go out and round the outside? Have a sprint around the outside back to the start. Again, entirely up to you. You can kind of pick your rules over and above what's been given to you. The next person might decide to go through and pick up the bales that have been dropped by the previous person, or you might decide, you know what, let's grab some more, we'll go again, and you just try and mop up as many as you can. Again, you can change the time limits if you want, you can extend the time limit, Yeah, you can shorten it, you can do whatever you want. I can just imagine it being frantic and hilarious. So that's the obstacle course. Get as many bells through the course to the finish. From here, we're going to head up. We're going to head up to the concrete maze. The next is the trailer reverse course. So number 4, trailer reverse. Drive your trailer backwards through the concrete labyrinth. Does say the team that makes it the furthest has won. Now, again, this one, when it says the furthest, it might be you all get through it, or you might want to set a time limit. It doesn't specify a time limit on this one, but you might all decide, I forgot about traffic. You can turn traffic off if you want to, of course. Yeah, you might decide, you know what, let's just have it set at 5 minutes, and as, you know, after you've done a run, you swap drivers. Again, with this one, or you just pick your best driver, set a time limit. You might say, okay, you've got 3 minutes, you've got to get as far as you can. It's not a swivel axle on the trailer, it's a fixed axle. However, it's not that straightforward. On the go, it is tight, and you've got a piece, as you've already seen. When I practiced this, I went around the first few turns really, really well, and I thought as soon as I start recording, it's going to go to pieces. So you really want to probably stay as close to this as you possibly can. Otherwise you're not going to give yourself enough room for the next bit. Straighten up a bit. It's no different to kind of racing driving. You're trying to get the best line through the corners. There's a little bit of leeway, but not much. And hug the concrete. Now, like I say, I've got stuck there. So if you're finding you've set a time limit and everyone's managed to get through in the time limit, when you get to the end, what you could do, you decide is, okay, well, what we'll do is that person then drives back to the start and then you swap drivers. Or your challenge might just be everyone's got to drive through the course and the fastest time for all 3 players through wins. You know, again, pick how you want that. It's not pretty. Again, if you're really hardcore about it, you could decide, okay, well, what we'll do is, you know, the old, a little bit like Operation, you know, the little like labyrinth things with the wire, and you've got the handheld ring and you've got to get through the wire without the buzzer going off. You could say, if you hit the wall, you go back to the start. You know, if you want to really go for it, you know, you're not allowed to hit the wall, you're not allowed to ride the wall. So if you get to the end and then decide, okay, well, we've all done that too quickly, hit the wall, bang, you drive it back to the start, and then you swap drivers and go again. Obviously, it's much easier going forwards. Oh dear. So that's the obstacle course. It says, yeah, there is obstacle course, yeah. The concrete labyrinth. Yeah, so you have to have your whole vehicle out of the maze, stop, swap drivers and go again. Or, like I say, whatever you choose to do. There are these boards up all around the map which give you the rules for each one as I'm reading them out. I'm reading them out from the website. And then you've got your points here. This again, maximum first place 10, 8, 6, 4. You might want to change that. You might want to, you know, depending on how you're playing it or in what situation, you might want to have forfeits for the losing team. You might want to, you know, however you want to go about it. So, from here, that's the 4th one. No, that's the, that was the 3rd. Sorry, no, I've got them the wrong way around, haven't I? Sorry. Sprint race, sprint lawn mowing, obstacle course was the one with the bales, trailer reverse course through the labyrinth. That's what we were just at, trailer reverse course. For all those people that were shouting at the screen, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one down. So yeah, that was number 4, trailer reverse course. Now we're over to proper ploughing. This is another one we do have with proper ploughing. There is a time limit it gives you. Again, adjust if you wish. It says precision counts here. You plough neat furrows or lanes within 5 minutes. If they're not accurate or flush enough, they're not counted. So again, speed, caution, which do you go for? What we'll do is whiz down. I'll just cut the corner, we'll try and get as quickly as possible. Again, you've got your own lane, you've got your own vehicle. The weight is what will tell you what team yours is. I'm in the blue team, so this is my one just here. Fairly wide plough. You might also decide that you've got to plough, say, correctly with your front ploughshare being on the leading edge of whichever one you're doing, or just say it doesn't matter as long as the furrows are straight. You might decide each person's got to do one leg, and then you swap over. So you have like a relay. So you have 2 people this end, 2 people that end, and you do your first furrow. So I say, are you going to switch it over and make sure that your leading edge is on the edge of the field and then go, or you can pick and choose your rules as you go. It's entirely up to you. And it sounds, you think, well, that's straightforward. You can't. Oh, actually, you can hire a worker. That's a bit naughty. No hiring work. I mean, you might want to have a rule for that. No hiring workers. So when you head off, you think, yeah, that's all right. And it looks pretty. Oh no, it's not pretty straight, is it? I've already messed that one up. I'm already going off at an angle. As you can see, you straight away in your head, you think, oh, that's not too bad. And you look back and you think, that's awful. That's all over the place. It's getting better. You might decide for a full furrow, for a full lane that's perfect, because you get X amount of points, or half point for a half one. That really is dreadful. And then you get to the end and swap with the next person. They have a go, and again, you've either got a time limit for your best driver, or you can all have a go, and then that wouldn't even count as one. But again, it would be quite amusing to do. So that's your proper ploughing, proper job. From here, let's stop that. We have got. Let's go to the right place first. We want to go in past here. We have got the main machinery store and workshop trigger, and we've got the grocery mart. We just tuck in here. So, main machinery store. Workshop trigger is just there. Grocery mart sell point is just there. So we do have a couple of sell points on the map. If we drive around to this bit here, this is the one that I dread, and this is the one I've been dreading showing because I'm awful at it. We've also got, where are we here? Just there. We've got the pizzeria. So there are sell points. Like I say, there's all stuff for it to be a regular map if you want to have it as a regular map. Then you jump in your team's tractor. I think this is the one we are. Yeah. This is a swivel axle trailer. Oh, I don't like this. So, rotary stool reverse challenge. Drive your rotary stool as far as possible backwards. You have 2 minutes to do it in. Again, change the time limit if you want to. I know if I was playing with younger kids or whatever, you might have nieces, nephews, grandchildren, whatever, and they're finding it difficult. Have a longer time limit, or if you're playing with people that are experts at reversing trailers like this, a minute. However you want to do it. On the go, we're reversing back, trying to keep it as straight as possible. I'm just watching that pin. Oh, it's already going to pieces. I hate these things, I really do. Sometimes I nail it and it just works perfectly. Other times it's an absolute nightmare. And then when the buzzer goes, I'm not going to go the whole way, no way. And I know there's going to be experts out there saying, oh, what you should be doing. I know what I should be doing. Like I say, sometimes it just works, sometimes it doesn't. You can't lock this out. Small inputs have wild implications. The more you start to go out of shape, the worse it gets, kind of thing. And you can't turn your tractor. I don't think this one has a front hitch anyway. And then when the buzzer goes, you'll stop and you see how far you've got with your trailer. Furthest wins. Fairly straightforward. Apart from the reversing bit, fairly straightforward. That's the rotary stool reverse challenge. So that's the 6 challenges. That's what comes standard. But then we've also got the horse racing, and we've got football, which you can play. We did have, what was that football map? It was just the football pitch, wasn't it? It was all neon lights and, mine's gone blank what that was called. Anyway, from here, we head back out here, because this is surrounded by water, so you have to drive back out from here. So this is what I think Farm Sim League should be. Farming Simulator League should be on this map. and it should be doing these challenges. I think that would be absolutely brilliant. So we have got a horse stable and a horse barn. This already comes pre-populated with horses, and I think there's enough horses for everybody. They are standard horse barns and pastures. I think, hang on, let's just double check that under animals and horses. Yeah. You can feed them and do all the stuff you usually do with them if you want to. You can all come and grab yourselves a horse. They are all named already, but you can change those if you want to. So if you want to take the time to name your horse something specific, it's entirely up to you. I think you can. Rename, yeah. As long as you're assigned to a farm, I guess it's not going to be a problem. Then come and grab your horse. And again, this is another one of those things that if you're on a multiplayer server, or even if you're on your own, you know, or sat on your own, if there's 6 of you, you all come and grab a horse, and you can head out to the racetrack. So you've got the outer rim of the racetrack, which is much wider. So I'm just thinking, there's 12 of you on horses. I mean, you can have this as your start-finish line. There's not a sort of an official start-finish line. You can do a loop round. Then you've got this. I mean, this one, I don't know if this is an inner track. I've never actually been to horse racing. Jamie, you would know more about this than I do. I just think with 12 people trying to race around that would be quite tricky. Then we've got the sort of more dust track. Again, you could race around this or practice. And then you've got the horse jumping, which I think, you know, again, you could take it in turns. You know, it might be you find that you're all doing it exactly the same time. Again, you could maybe have a time limit, how many jumps you can get done in that time. But you follow the course round. There's a few jumps and a track to go round. I think if you're on your own doing something like this is fine, but if you were doing like 12 of you, I think the horse racing, 12 of you racing around, I just think it would be absolutely hilarious. Like all of it, I just think it'd be an absolute laugh, a hoot. Especially if you're with a group of, you know, really good friends, you can have an absolute laugh doing this. So, that's the horse racing, horse jumping. Where you decide to start from is entirely up to you. You might decide you start from this post at the top and go down, or from, you know, as long as you all decide and you're all happy with the same thing. Oh, no. And that was me saying, you know, I still got around it, but... Oh, nearly missed that one. Oh, I did miss it completely. So as I say, you think it's quite straightforward. I just lost concentration, I know, but there you go. So that's your horse racing, horse jumping. Take the horse back. There we go. So, from here, I haven't really shown you on the map. I usually do that, don't I? Let's go to there. So we started off here on the sprint race. Animal dealer. From the sprint race, we went there to the sprint lawn mowing. Then from the sprint lawn mowing, the obstacle course, that was the right way around. The obstacle course, taking the bales round. From there, we went round to the concrete labyrinth, which is the trailer reverse course. We then came back from there to the proper ploughing to the machinery store, grocery mart with the workshop trigger, pizzeria, and the Rotary store reverse challenge. We then came back out of here. We're here with the horse racing and horse racing track. So we're now going to head just over to here, which is the milling group sell point. Then we'll whiz out to the football pitches. And then there's a sawmill on here as well. So again, if you want to run it as a regular farm with just all this stuff in, you know, you're farming around a race course or farming around a, you know, however you want to run it. There's plenty of flat areas, plenty of places where you can, as long as you buy the plots, of course, for putting placeables down for sell points for productions, you know, if you just want it and run it as a regular farm. So, milling group. It's just here, that's a sell point. From here, we're going to whiz over to football pitches. Now, the football pitches have got a high wall all the way around. There's not an obvious entrance. Obviously, you can just you know, you can jump into the vehicles, you can just skip through. There is one here, I don't know about further along, but if you need to, you can always pull up alongside if you know, sort of jump in. Onto there, onto there. 3 tractors each side, there are 2 pitches, so all of you can be playing at the same time. You could run a tournament, winner stays on, you could run a whole table, you know, whatever you want to do. And you just you play your foot. This is another one I just think absolutely brilliant. Drop that down. Straight at the keeper. Oh no, a little bit past. Actually, I need to double check there's something. Can we? Just that. Can't bring the wings in, can we? Oh, we can fold it that way. I was thinking, can we bring those sides anymore? We can't. We can manually adjust if we want to, and we've got some tilt on there as well. Maybe tilt fall on the ball, I don't know. If you're taking a penalty, maybe that might be better, so you don't sky the ball. Then it just keeps... How did I still miss that? How did I still... Anyway, that's your football pitch. I can't believe I just did that. Ah, dear. I was never much for football. I was better at rugby, but... Ah, is there a clear bit here then? Ah, brilliant. There you go. I'm glad I saw that arrow. There's me climbing over the wall. I didn't even notice that before. Well spotted, MrSealyp. And then from here, we've got the sawmill, which is the last of the sell points production chain on the map. That's all of the facilities. That's all 6 of the challenges, including on top of that the horse racing, horse jumping, and the football. That's event map by Razak. Like I say, it's not farming. I know someone commented recently when I did that one on the the Lintner competition, that little course you had to do. I said it's an absolute waste of time, absolutely ridiculous. It's got nothing to do with farming. It's a real competition. It's a real thing. Lintner set it up. They've been doing it for years, where actual farmers come along and they or teams, they put themselves in. It's a real thing. Competitive farming, the ploughing, they are real things. They do happen. So, yes, maybe this is a little bit extreme, but I still think it would be absolutely awesome to do in real life. Wouldn't it be incredible? So, here we are at the sawmill. We go back to the map. So we went from there to the football, across the sawmill, we zoom back out again. There's no other sell points. That's everything taken in. That's event map by Razak. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.